Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Deciding to Soar, Living Life Your Own Way. My name is Sharron Jamison, and I'm so excited that you are here with me today. I know that there are many places where you can be, and so I am tremendously grateful for your time, for your energy, and for your presence. So, welcome and thank you. Well, today I want to talk about something that happens to all of us, but something that we often don't name, and that is betrayal. Because throughout our lives, we will all experience betrayal on a personal level or a professional level or a political level. And when we are able to identify betrayal by paying attention and noticing changes in language, changes in actions, changes in expressions, we won't find ourselves really caught off guard by when people show up in ways that betray us and betray our trust. So today I want to share a framework that I have been using in my own life and I use with my clients. It's a framework called happy because let's be real. Betrayal is never a happy experience. But if we have a quick framework that can help us identify what our body already feels and our body already knows, we can quickly help ourselves. We can protect ourselves and our communities so that betrayal does not wreak havoc on our lives. So let's talk about the framework because, of course, if you've been around me for any time, you know that I love frameworks because frameworks help us not only hold on to concepts, but they provide quick reminders of concepts. So today I wanted to talk about what each letter stands for because each letter helps us identify betrayal in our friendships, in our organizations, in our workplaces, in our national policies, so that we can be wiser and so that we can, in so many ways, trust our intuition and navigate in life more strategically, more clearly, and more courageously. So let's get started. The H. The H in the happy framework stands for honesty. Honesty. You know, or you can sense where there's seeds of betrayal because something will tell you that you cannot be truthful with someone, or you can sense when they're being dishonest with you. I want you to think about that again. You know when you feel a seed of betrayal because something will tell you that you can't tell that person your entire truth or you cannot share with that person, or something about the person makes you know that you can't trust them. You cannot trust what they're saying. And again, it's intuitive because our body always has wisdom before our mind has language for it. And I want to really help us to be honest with ourselves because sometimes we allow people in our spaces and we don't trust them. We don't know why we don't trust them, but we don't. And like I said, when we think about betrayal personally, we can see that there's something that makes us feel that they are being deceptive or something that makes us feel that we have to be deceptive, which is a warning sign. But politically, you know that you are being betrayed when something about a leader rubs you the wrong way because you instinctively know that they are making false promises during campaigns or they are enacting policies that do harm to certain communities that they have vowed to protect. You know that you are being politically betrayed when facts are being distorted or you our information is being hidden so that you are being manipulated. Those are examples of betrayal, right? Because anytime when you know that a person or system or an institution is not telling you the truth, you know that you're being set up to be betrayed. And it's something that, again, instinctively we know, but now I think we need to be honest with ourselves to name. So honesty. You know that there is a seed of betrayal when you are not being honest with someone and you feel like that person is not being honest to you. The A stands for, in the happy framework, is that you know that there is a seed of betrayal when you feel angry. Because angry is not just an emotion. Anger is a messenger. Because when something violates your values, our bodies and our minds alert us and tell us, hey, pay attention. And so when you're around a group of people at your work, at your place of worship, or at your dinner table with your family, if you feel anger rising, and anger can show up as frustration and resentment and irritation or just discomfort, it often means that your values and your boundaries are being violated. So instead of suppressing our anger, it's important for us to listen to it because, again, our anger is a messenger and an invitation to look deeper. And so it's so important when we feel those feelings of frustration or irritation or agitation or resentment is to try to uncover what that emotion is trying to reveal to us about our relationships and about our surroundings. Now, when we think about anger politically, we know what that feels like because when marginalized communities express outrage over systemic oppression, and when anger is dismissed or when our anger is overlooked, of course we know that we are being betrayed. Or when you think about systemically, when there is systemic injustice or environmental destruction, broken policies, broken treaties. And when we talk about those things, people want to say that we are irrational and we don't understand what's happening. And we know that we do understand what's happening. We know that anger is an accurate response because we can feel that betrayal, not only on a personal side, but on a collective side, on a national scale. So know that when you feel anger personally, collectively, regionally, nationally, know that that is a seed of betrayal. You are being betrayed, or you are being primed to be betrayed. So be careful, be prayerful, and be alert. The first P in the happy framework stands for promotion. Promotion. Because we know there's a seed of betrayal when people try to create narratives about who you are, about your work, about anything that you do that damages your reputation. So just think about it. Do you have people in your life who tell lies? Or do you have people in your life who remain silent when lies are being told and myths are being perpetuated, but they don't speak up? It reminds me of an example of one of my clients. She thought that one of her friends was speaking up for her in a meeting to promote her for a new opportunity. But her friend never spoke up. Her friend never advocated for her. So you want to know that when they promote a narrative, or if they're silent when a false narrative is being perpetuated, that is a seed of betrayal. So again, it's just not about people spreading falsehoods. It's about when people refuse to challenge misinformation. That is a form of betrayal. So let's look at how that looks politically. When politicians and media outlets promote narratives that distort history, that vilify entire communities, that push false equivalencies. When the media and history tries to portray people or to ban books or to ban different opposing positions, we know that we are being portrayed. Or when the media is silent and won't speak up when people are being abused, won't speak up when people or communities are being undermined, won't speak up, for example, when communities are being underserved by politicians, you know that you are being betrayed. So promotion, pay attention. Pay attention and watch how people promote or fail to promote the truth. Because when people don't support the truth or challenge misinformation, you know that they are spreading harmful rhetoric that undermines your reputation, undermines the reputation of your community, your heritage, your identity, your history. And those are definite seeds of betrayal. The second P I want you to really think about in this happy framework stands for promises. When people break their commitments to you, or when people share your secrets, or when people go back on their word, they are betraying the trust you have placed in them. It was really funny. One of my clients mentioned, and she gave me opportunity and permission to share this story. She had lost a lot of weight, and one of her friends was telling everyone that she was taking Ozempic. Now, it wasn't that she was telling a lie, but her friend had promised her that she would not share what she was doing to lose weight. That is when you're being betrayed, when people break their commitments and share your secrets. And that happens over and over again, right? Because when people disregard their commitment or when they abandon their commitments, they show you that they are incapable of being loyal. And they show you that they cannot be trusted, cannot be counted on. And that's how promises show up personally. But what does that look like politically? When we think about promises, when we see elected officials fail to deliver on their campaign promises, particularly when they impact vulnerable populations, you know that you are being betrayed. When elected officials, for example, who campaign on justice and equality, but later vote for policies that harm their constituents, they support policies and approve policies that compromise certain communities, especially vulnerable communities. When governments fail to uphold treaties, agreements, or laws that protect citizens, it is institutional betrayal. But it looks the same if we're paying attention. Broken promises, I don't care if it's personal, spiritual, political, professional, they all are forms of betrayal, and they hurt us in our core, they hurt us in our community, and some of the betrayal can hurt us for generations to come. Promises. We need to make sure and stay awake and aware of when people break promises to us, even if it's a little promise. If people don't follow up and if people don't follow through, there's something to think about when you think about loyalty. And the why in the happy framework stands for yesterday. Beware of people in your life who long for the past. A past where you were showing up smaller, a past where you were less empowered, a past where you were silent, a past where you were easily controlled. I'm always concerned when people in my life want me to be who I used to be, or they want me to go back to an identity that was less confident, less joyful, less relaxed. So beware of those who long for the past, especially when the past includes ways that you were oppressed or marginalized. Be careful when people try to force you into an outdated version of yourself, or people who resist your evolution. Know that they are trying to betray you because they are threatened by your growth, threatened by your potential, and threatened because they have lost their ability to control parts of your life. So, yesterday. Now, let's talk about how that looks politically. When we think about how yesterday shows up, we have some examples of how that is showing up now in America. We hear the saying, let's make America great again. It's this call to return to a better time, which is often masked, in an attempt to revert to periods where certain groups had less freedom, less rights, less power, less opportunity. And when you start to hear people talk about the good old days, remember that the good old days were not good for everyone. And that betrayal is evident is when a movement seeks to roll back progress in voting rights, in racial justice, in gender equality, in all of the ways that people with different identities, people who have historically been marginalized, when people have a narrative that yesterday was better than today, I want you to recognize that is political betrayal. Again, betrayal is something that we all will encounter in our life, personally, professionally, and politically. But if we recognize betrayal, it allows us to set boundaries. It allows us to remove toxic influences. And that can be what we read, what we take in our spirits, where we attend different worship, where we work. And if we can recognize betrayal, it allows us to align ourselves with people and spaces that honor our dignity. It aligns us to people who we can support and support us so that we can fight back on politicians who promote narratives that don't serve us, or fight back on people who continue to break promises, or want us to go back to a time in a period in our history that robs you of your power and your peace. And if we can do that, we can sense and not react to betrayal, but strategically, courageously respond and create environments that are rooted in trust, honesty, and empowerment. We can create professional and personal relationships and partnerships that are based on mutuality, where we know that we can be honest and share our truth, and people can be honest with us. When we know that we don't feel that sense of anger or angst or anxiety when that person is around, because our spirits are trying to alert us that we're not safe personally, professionally, or politically. We can be around people that know how to promote us and to encourage us and affirm us in our gifts, in our abilities, in our dreams. We can be around people who know how to keep their promises and to share and to not share our secrets, and to have a spirit of confidentiality and be in covenant with us. And we know that we can find people who don't yearn for yesterday when we were less than, but people who are invested in our tomorrow, so we can be who we feel called to be, so we can dare to soar higher than anything we have been taught and told, because we know that we are safe, that we don't have to be suspicious, that we can be our full selves. So stay awake, stay aware, stay empowered, know that betrayal exists. And if you have not been betrayed, you will, because people who are not healed, let me say it that way, are always people who hurt us consciously or unconsciously, intentionally or unintentionally. But if you can identify the seeds of betrayal, you can not only protect yourself, you can create boundaries to preserve your peace so that you can do what you have been called to do. So do me a favor and let me know how the happy framework feels to you. Let me know what resonates with you. And if you're interested in attending or joining me in any of my upcoming workshops, I want you to send me an email at Sharron@SharronJamison.com, because I would love to share information with you. And if you notice, I don't share information widely because I am very careful about vetting people, because I want people who come into our gatherings to feel safe. That's really important to me. So email me and I'll share information. And thank you for joining me. And I wish you well. I wish you blessings. And I look forward to sharing more with you next week.